Welcome to Valorant Self-Reflection, where I talk to random Valorant players I meet in-game and have them self-reflect upon themselves and let them know that any obstacle or trial that they face, they are definitely not alone, as many others may have gone through the same thing. Today I had the wonderful privilege of talking with my friend Souza, who I deeply admire. Alright, Souza, for the first question. It's very generic, but as of lately, how have you been feeling?
Um, First of all, thank you for asking, and I'm glad we can have this conversation because I think it's important. Um, as of recently, I've been doing all right, actually, surprisingly. Uh, at the end of last year, a couple months ago, it was a little bit tough. Like a lot of stuff happened, and like that kind of put me at like a very low point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But then, starting to get better over time and stuff. That's how you heals over time. And I've been actually going to therapy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't think that therapy would actually work, to be honest, but um, it's definitely been something that I've been trying to go to consistently, just to talk about stuff because I'm not a very talkative person. I don't like, in terms of like at least in terms of like talking about like feelings or emotions, like I'm really lacking with that. So being able to sort of do that is kind of new for me, but at the same time
Mm-hmm.
it's like good because it helps. But I've been actually doing better, um, focusing a lot more on myself. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've been trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one of my goals. I'm usually always focused on other people and worrying and caring about other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I still do, obviously, but I never really put myself first, and that's sort of what I'm doing now. Just going to the gym, getting hopefully a job within the next few weeks. Just gotta
Mm-hmm.
wait on a call back. Driving more often. Just focusing on myself, and then obviously waiting for college stuff. But um, yeah, I mean, just to sum it up, I mean, just pretty decent, and just focusing on me.
All right, that's good to hear. I'm glad you're seeking out therapy. Therapy. I also didn't think it was a very reliable choice when it comes to letting people get to know you and help you out with what you're going through. But from what I've seen, it does help a lot, and I really recommend anyone who actually needs it or thinks they need it to give it a try, to never really doubt it until they give it a shot, because they never know how they could feel after they actually do it.
Yeah.
And
How have
so
you been, by the way?
I've been good. As I've been working on myself. I I did stop going to the gym, but then I recently started again. Not as much currently. I'm just going every other day because I'm currently working two jobs, so I'm currently working 7 days a week. So I'm working nonstop, and uh, I'm working on a technically meal plan as well. Like I'm meal prepping, so I can focus on my caloric intake to be able to better my physical health, my mental health, and just how I view myself as a person. And I've been good. I obviously my new job as a teacher. It's been really good helping kids figure out what they like, showing kids how to like teaching them how to do math, English is a really like nice thing to see and grow in them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been fine. Uh, there's nothing really holding me down. I would say I'm slowly just rising, not at the pace I would assume that I could do, but I'm still going up no matter what.
No, yeah, man. I mean, that is really good to hear. I mean, you know, you can't always have things, go your way all the time. So it's good that you're like, realizing that, like, it might not be the pace that you want it to be, but it's something. And and that I think is what's important is that, you're slowly going up, and that is, good to see because a lot of people, um, including me, kind of struggle with that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, because it's something that's something positive, so
No, definitely.
really good.
Thank you. I really appreciate your input on the situation.
Of course.
All right. Next question. Going back to what you said before, what you went through, you don't have to necessarily go in detail, but from that person you were back then to now, how would you describe the differences between both of you?
Um, that's a good question. I think um, the person that I was before, I still am that person. Not gonna lie, I still have some of those issues, some of the issues. Um, but I think what really I guess is the difference is that I am more accepting, I guess, of um, people sort of coming and going and stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
realized that, that's bound to happen. Not everyone in your life is um, gonna stay forever, everyone's
Yeah.
temporary and stuff. So it's kind of I lost a few friends, just they cut ties with me and stuff like that. Lost a couple important people and stuff that you know I kind of put my all into and stuff like that, and really
Yeah.
did care for,
Yeah.
and loved, and was always there for them and stuff like that. And sometimes um, you know you can do everything you can, but that you can't just force people to, I guess, stay and stuff like that. And then also, I don't know, just going through my parents were kind of also having arguments and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
um, my dad moved out I think in November, to an apartment that's close by. So my parents really kind of taking a break and stuff like that. Right now they're a lot better. My dad still has his apartment, but
Yeah.
um, my mom uh, goes over and stuff like that, and stays nights with him and stuff like that, and they hang out and stuff. So they're talking again, and um, just sort of, I guess, connecting again, which is important to me, and that's something that I didn't want to see them lose. So them
Yeah.
sort of uh, trying to work it out, I guess, is a positive. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of people that I've left and stuff like that, obviously it hurts. I'm sure with anybody, that is not something that's very you know good, I guess.
Yeah.
It's definitely a shocking feeling, but also it just hurts really.
Yeah.
People that you, like I said before, put your all into and really did care for and really tried your best for, they're not always going to stay around. So I think that um, that really did affect me to the point where I actually started doing therapy. That was
Mm-hmm.
kind of my breaking point, I guess, was just is there something, I don't know, I would question myself whether or not there was something wrong with me or something that was making these people sort of come and go and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I just seek therapy really for an answer, as to why this was all happening, because I just didn't know. People leaving me, and obviously my parents splitting for a bit. So, um, I was very confused and lost, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
with just everything, but mostly myself. But now I think that I'm definitely in a better mindset. I definitely have a more positive. Uh, I have a more positive mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's good.
so I'm trying to think of things in a more positive, but also like just make sense to me. So I
Yeah.
can just understand everything and still sort of you know, be happy with what I still have and be happy with that I'm even here and stuff like that. It's just sort of, I still have a lot of, you know, dope ass friends and stuff like that. And I still have, like, my parents are working through stuff and,
Mm.
um, you know, talking to new people and stuff like that. Just trying to figure, I guess, life out. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, what I would say.
All right, that's good. I mean, I totally understand about the parents kind of splitting for a bit. I know how you feel. I've had split parents since I was 2 years old actually. Yeah, and it was tough growing up. Obviously, as a kid, I didn't know what was going on, but sooner or later, growing up, like
A lot younger.
as growing up, you kind of figure out what happened. You piece it all together, and sometimes I'm glad your family was able to, like your parents were able to kind of rekindle with each other, continue talking. Uh,
Yeah.
I know some people cannot go do the same thing. As for
Yeah.
example, me, I wasn't able to do that. I often hear my mom talk bad about my dad, or my dad talk bad about my mom, and it's just that type of thing where not all relationships could rekindle with each other, and just kind of they just leave bad taste with each other, and it's just something that one has to live with and kind of just
Yeah.
get used to in a way. And
Sort of
so
accept it for what it is.
yeah, accept it what it is and just find ways on still how to be happy with both families. And that's what I've grown to learn. I've learned how to love everyone equally. I never loved one parent more. I love both of them. I visit my dad. I live with my mom. I still keep connections with my dad, and he still likes when I go over to his house and just spend time with him no matter what I do. Just either sitting down on his couch or just playing with my brothers. He just likes that I'm still there with him and haven't left him completely.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's good to hear. Like, I know, like, um, it's a tough situation and stuff, especially like you were two. So, like, I mean, like, that is, you know, a little different from me, which was like a few months ago. But, like, that's
Mm-hmm.
very young for your parents to split and stuff. And obviously, you don't have the, capable knowledge of, understanding anything hardly. So,
Yeah.
I think that, but I'm like, it's really cool to hear that, even though it's like, obviously, like you mentioned, like, uh, not something that's able to be rekindled, I guess. I mean, that it's still good that you're still like happy with the situation no matter what, like, or at least you're trying to sort of be happy with it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
visiting both your parents and stuff, and still talking to both of them. It's not like you're just talking to one and completely trashing the other. Like, I think that that's really good that you can do that because I know a few people personally who, you know, um, only have connection with one parent and don't talk with the other really or
Mm-hmm.
hardly at all.
Yeah.
For obviously for their personal issues, but I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I think that that's good though that you're still able to have a strong connection with both your parents and stuff, and still, and they know that you care for them and still visit them and stuff like that. So that's good, man.
No, yeah, of course. It feels good to be able to still have your family no matter what.
Yeah.
Of course, I think family is one of the most important things anyone could have in their life.
Yeah, definitely. If not number one, bro.
Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, family isn't always blood related. Anyone could literally become your family on how
Yeah,
you look
exactly.
at it.
Exactly, bro. I agree.
All right. And after what you said about people leaving, coming and going, everything that's happened, are you happy with where you are right now?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. Me from maybe like January or um like late December, I would have said probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I mean, it was still pretty recent and stuff like that, like with uh what happened,
Mm-hmm.
or with everything that was going on, I guess. But me right now, to be honest, yeah, I mean, I think I am. I wouldn't say that like, oh, I'm peak happy or I'm
Hmm.
like you know always happy and stuff like that. But I think that I'm
Yeah.
definitely in a more positive mindset than I was. Um, I personally believe that everything happens for a reason,
Mhm.
and I think that you know certain people coming and going and stuff or leaving, um, friendships, that didn't last or relationships that didn't work. I think that obviously it's heartbreaking to deal with all that and it's traumatic and it can really put a toll on a mental someone's mental health. But I think that you know like I said, everything happens for a reason. I think I'm a firm believer in that, and that you know this all these things can happen or will happen. um, but you know you just got to stay. The only real answer is, I guess, you just got to stay positive and just work through it. Like, you can't give up on um, just you can't give up on yourself over other people, and that's something that I'm sort of still trying to process and
Hmm.
figure out. um, because a lot of me was put into other people. So
Yeah.
with when you lose that, it's sort of like you lose a big part of yourself.
Yeah.
um,
From what they took.
but yeah, exactly. So it's sort of like um, it's emotional to deal with all that, and it can be very you know traumatic. But I think that eventually, over time, obviously only time can heal
Yeah.
you, but eventually you will be, as long as you just don't uh you know completely give up on yourself, you will
Hmm.
be like, sounds cliche, but you will be like happy again over time. You will be like you know um things will get better. And I think that that's like something that's very important to understand, is that no matter what you're going through, like, as long as you just keep fighting and keep pushing, like, things will get better. And you never know, you could most likely will end up in a better place that you were at before, or you might even reach a higher peak of happiness thought than you thought that you could. And who knows, it might even be happier than how you were before, when you thought you were happy. So
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like um, just don't give up on yourself over other people. You sort of have
Hmm.
to. Sometimes you just have to put yourself first and realize the mistakes you made, but also um, the mistakes that other people made, and
Hmm.
sort of realize your you know true worth, I guess, or
Hmm.
value yourself a lot more. um, and that's something that, again, I'm still learning to do, is valuing myself more as a person, like what you know like what I can do to sort of improve, but also like you know um, not be so hard on myself all the time, because that's
Yeah.
something that always have had in me, I guess, is being
Yeah.
hard on myself, never feeling accomplished if I ever did it, if I ever do accomplish stuff, like
Hmm.
being like, oh, not good enough. So I think that I'm just sort of just trying to work on that, because I know that um, you know, God willing,
Hmm.
I do, then I'll be a lot happier with myself and, I guess, who I am. So
Hmm.
you know, um, yeah.
Right. Thank you for opening up about happiness, and that kind of leads into my next question. Uh, how do you define happiness, and what kind of steps are you taking to cultivate more happiness in your life or for what you have in the future?
I think happiness, to be honest, I don't exactly have a definition for it. I just sort of see happiness as like, to be honest, I see it as like a temporary thing.
Mhm.
Like, um, I heard this once from like um, my dad, actually, but um, he told me, like, pretty much like how he sees like happiness and, like, sadness and all these like emotions, kind of sees
Mhm.
it as like seasons, pretty much, like like summer, winter, fall, all that. Like,
Yeah.
it's some, like, you're gonna feel like happy for a certain amount of time, and then, you know, randomly, like, it'll change, and like you'll feel, a completely different emotion, a completely different feeling the next day or whatever. And I sort of like thought that that was clever because how seasons change and stuff like that. So I sort of see it as like emotions and or feelings, I guess, that you feel will change over time and stuff like that, or just randomly change, I guess. And I think happiness is sort of obviously one of those that um, you'll definitely experience it. Um,
Hmm.
it doesn't obviously last forever, but it's it it's how I think I want to. Um, it's how I think anyone wants to really live their lives. I guess is through happiness and stuff like that, and being happy with not only what you have and what you've done and you know all that, but mainly like I guess with yourself. Like you're happy with the person that you are, the person that you um, uh, will be, or the person that you become, or whatever.
Hmm.
I think just I think just like accepting like who you are, but also realizing like you know what um, sort of inspires you and like what you like to do, and I guess just chasing after that. I feel like that is like happiness is just doing the
Hmm.
things that you love to do and just um, you know feeling good about it.
Hmm.
Um, so and that's what I'm trying to do is figure out what exactly that is, whether that's you know boxing or sparring or hanging with friends and stuff like that, whatever it could be. I think that as long as you enjoy what it is that you're doing, then I think that that is uh, technically a form of happiness. So um, yeah.
I'm glad you told me that. And from what I want to know, since you do want to be happy in the future, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Are there from besides from what you've told me, are there any fears or insecurities that you haven't said or haven't opened up about that you know eventually could be holding you back or will hold you back sooner or later from reaching
Yeah.
the happiness that you're looking for?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I do. Um, personally, I sort of struggle with a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety and stuff. I have a lot of social anxiety too. Um, I also, I just get anxious pretty easily and stuff.
Hmm.
I overthink a lot, second guess everything, second guess myself included. Um, and yeah, I mean, just I feel like those things, and obviously like um, a bit of depression, I guess. Um, but I don't really like to put that as a label, but
Hmm.
it is sort of, you know, some of the issues that I struggle with. But I think that yeah, I feel like all those things are definitely like issues that I think um, prevail me from being like you know um, happier, or I guess like more have a more positive mindset, I guess, about things, is
Hmm.
because I struggle obviously with all those things, and you know a lot of the times they like all clash together and happen at once, or will happen different in different situations, whether I'm obviously in public or even just in my room or whatever. Like um, I'll just always feel those emotions and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and sometimes I don't really know what to do about it. So, but it definitely does sort of affect my, uh, I guess, like mentality, I guess, of like being able to do things and having a more positive feeling about those things. So, um, yeah, I mean, I just think that, I mean, anyone that really struggles with those things, I'm sure millions of people struggle with at least one of the things that I listed. But I think
Yeah,
that,
of course.
those things are obviously um, not easy to sort of cope with a lot of the time, and it can be like, very stressful, I guess, and a lot of unsurety comes with it. But
Mm.
I think that kind of like I said before, like, you know, just don't let that sort of fully bring you down. Like, just, you know, if you see yourself like going through that or whatever,
Hmm.
just know that, things will be all right, I guess, and stuff. I didn't really believe that that would be the case, but
Hmm.
I'm starting to like learn that it is like, you're gonna be all right through um, those difficult moments that you have and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
it's just a matter of time, and really, realistically, only time can heal you and your conscience and stuff. So I think that, as long as you just stay strong and you know that you have these problems, but at the same time, you also know that you're strong enough to sort of um, deal with them, I guess, or face them. Then
Hmm.
there isn't really anything that can stop you from doing the things that you want to do. Um,
Yeah, of course.
but yeah, I mean, it definitely is challenging, to sort of deal with all that. But
No, yeah, of course. Be able to overthink to the even smallest minute details of anything is really a struggle in a lot of people's everyday lives. It can't go unseen. You always have like a little voice in your head telling you like something that you don't want to hear, but it's at the end of the day, it's always gonna be there most of the time. But it's something that cannot be easily get like be taken over, but with enough help from people you love, from therapists, anyone really, you can really just kind of fight those little voices and see that all that all that you were thinking was just really just inside your head and nothing that did happen or could happen.
yeah, no,
But,
for sure.
but yeah, I'm glad you went into having those types of situations going on, and I want to just kind of flip a little like reverse card instead of talking about things that do bring you down or what did bring you down. I want you to look at yourself and tell me, what do you love most about yourself? It doesn't have to be one thing, it could be a list of things that you like about yourself.
I think sort of the main thing, I guess, that I see sort of positive about myself is, I guess, my determination to do things. Um, just sort of having that sort of mindset that I can do something, or I can get over something, or I can accomplish something, or I can fix something, whatever that is. I just think that I have um, I've definitely like over time have built that sort of mindset that you know um, not to just give up easily and stuff.
Mm.
Before I was definitely like that, with literally anything, whether that was my PC not working, I just gave up on it, or whether that was
Yeah.
like just people in general, like just giving up on, or whether just school or whatever. I'm sure everyone has given up on school at this point, but I think that I'm joking, but I think that it's sort of like I just don't want to like fail because I feel like I have failed so much
Hmm.
uh, in my life. Like I've made really bad decisions too, and I've still like trying to, you know, overcome those bad decisions. But I think
Yeah.
that it's sort of like I don't, I'm not gonna like just stop and just not try. Like I feel like I,
There's always room
um,
for improvements.
yeah, exactly. And I just want to just sort of learn more, I guess, or do more. And that's sort of like what I see as like something good
Mhm.
about myself. Like I'm determined to go to the gym 6 days a week. I'm determined
Mhm.
to, you know, drive every other day. Determined to, um, get a job, determined to work and stuff, and
Mhm.
being able to do so, just determined to keep myself busy and stuff. Because I feel like that's also a way to sort of cope with a lot of, you know, um, negative stuff, is just keeping yourself busy, whether that's, um, like
Yeah,
by
of course.
yourself or just with other people, I guess. Like, surround yourself with good people, good friends, good family, whatever. You can
Yeah.
sort of distract yourself through that, or, like any of the examples that I've mentioned or other examples, just sort of keeping yourself busy, I think, is something that's definitely beneficial, because when you're by yourself doing nothing, like
Mhm.
absolutely nothing, where you're just in bed, like it's not that it won't get better, but it definitely will. You'll definitely be stuck, I guess.
Yeah, it'll cause a hindrance on the path.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, like I've mentioned, just sort of being determined to sort of get better, I guess, and sort of just, you know, keep trying, I guess, is something that I value highly about myself.
Mhm. And I heard you bring up that you made some past mistakes. If you're okay to answer, what are your biggest regrets that you have made? And since it's a big thing that a lot of people should love about themselves is their ability to learn from anything that they did in the past, what can you learn from your past regrets?
Um, it's sort of this is sort of a weird question to answer, because I think I have this mindset. I sort of think that I don't. I try not to live life with regrets, because then I feel
Mm-hmm.
like then that's not really um, positive, because I think that everything that you've done in your past got you to the position that you're at now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I don't really try to live life based on or having a lot of regrets, but I definitely do think that I could have been a lot more um, just patient with myself, and sort of um, realize that I'm whether I was struggling or whatever, that um, you know, it's important to sort of, I guess, know that things can get better and stuff, because that's not
Mm-hmm.
something that I um, instilled, I guess, in my mind, that things can change and stuff. I always um, figure, like, not once something bad would happen, or um, you know, something that really did affect me or whatever, that um, that it was just gonna mess me up completely and stuff. And I just kind of wish that I sort of had the mindset that I have now, where it's sort of like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like whatever this is, like, stings, and
Yeah.
definitely it hurts, but um, I, you know, I will, just keep working on myself, like focus on myself and stuff when I'm not sure what to do, and just do that. And I think
No.
that that's important, because a lot of people, including myself, when things go wrong, instead of trying to make a right out of
Mm-hmm.
it, you keep making more wrongs. So whatever that may be with me, like that involved, like alcohol and other, and drugs and other
Yeah.
substances like that. I feel like that's pretty common nowadays too, for people just to resort to that when
Yeah.
struggling and stuff. Um, but then also, like, also just um, keep myself like distant, I guess, too, is also another thing. Like, just not opening up to, like, anybody at all, like just
Yeah.
not saying anything at all, lying about how I was and stuff like that. Um, which I still kind of struggle to do, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that obviously keeping yourself distant from everyone, like, I get it, but it's sort of like it won't make anything really change. Um, like we mentioned before, like that's just gonna obviously just make you, like, put you in a deeper hole than you already are, I guess, because you're not really going anywhere. You're not progressing if you're not doing nothing. So I think that, you know, I was definitely like that. Still am at times, but um, you know, I think that I just wish that I would have like, I guess, taken a step back and realized like, what my mistakes were and how I
Yeah.
can actually progress from it. Because
Hmm.
like I said, I didn't progress from my mistakes. I
Hmm.
would make a mistake and then just keep making more mistakes after it, and then that would just not do anything. Whether I
Hmm.
knew it or not, it would just make more mistakes, and then that would just lead to, you know, me being even more messed up. So
Yeah.
I think that I just wish that I knew that. But at the same time, I'm glad that um, I think it's good that I know that now. Um,
Hmm.
and I think that that's what is important, is that I realized those things that I did, and I also realized that, you know, it's good that I figured it out, or at least I'm trying to understand it um, right now,
Yeah.
because it's tough, but it's good to sort of um, just know that, um, you know, as long as you learn from
Your mistakes.
your wrongs, yeah, as long as
Hmm.
you learn from your mistakes, then um, things slowly start to progress for you, I guess.
Yeah, of course, having, especially the one where you can't or feel like you can't really open up to anyone. It's from personal experiences, it's not good to be able to hold yourself in. If you keep yourself for too long, it'll eventually backfire and it could cause some mental instability to where you won't be able to go to your like full capacity of happiness and to where you no longer can trust anyone. And if you at least have one person you can rely on, no matter who it is, family, friends, anyone, as long as you have that one shoulder you could lean on, it's just a perfect way to take a step into battering your happiness in terms of what you want for the future, even now, really. And for me, it's worked multiple times. I'm glad I have people who are there for me, and I'm glad I'm there for people who want to need me and who need me to be there for them. And
Yeah.
it's good that at least you have an outlet to have someone. And if that someone doesn't have an outlet at all, they should just know that in a lot of these situations, even though you may feel alone at times just because times are getting dark and you can't see anything, just know, even though it is like a dark room, there is going to be someone in that same room struggling with that same problem that you're going through or that someone is going through. That kind of leads me to what it is right now, or the last segment of what it is going to be. Um, I first want to thank you for opening up to me, obviously, sharing what happened the past few months. Again, I am sorry for what happened, but I'm also happy that you're bettering yourself, you're finding ways that could make your life better, you're figuring stuff out on your own, you're doing stuff, your motivation is quite high, and I'm glad things are working out for you.
Yeah.
And I want to see, after being able to not drop this, but be able to release how you've been feeling these past few months for now. How do you feel now, like in terms of letting things go off your shoulder, that you now explained more of how you feel to other people other than like a therapist who has also heard this?
Um, yeah, I think it's kind of like a relieving feeling, I guess, to just sort of let things sort of end, or let things sort of be how they are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's just something that is at times difficult to accept. But it's also kind of good that you know, that it is what it is, because then
Mm-hmm.
you can finally like progress with that and sort of move forward, like
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, do things that you weren't able to do.
And how do
I think
you feel?
that
Sorry.
no, you're good.
How
Right
do you
now,
feel now? Yeah.
I just feel, I guess, I feel more calm. I feel more, like I mentioned earlier, relieved as well, because I was always holding on to past memories and past situations, past
Mm-hmm.
traumas and stuff like that, and just I was so focused on the past that I never that because I was so heavily focused on that I wasn't able to progress with my like with myself as my own person.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to do that well. I was always holding back on stuff, um, because I was so focused on trying to fix the past, or focused on
Mm-hmm.
trying to, um, relive certain moments of the past. And I think that, um, now I've kind of am at a point where I've accepted things for what they are,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just sort of working to, you know, to something different, like something new, and trying to figure that out. And the past will always be there,
Mm-hmm.
my mistakes and my rights will always be there. Um, but it's good to, I think it's important at least to progress, because if you're just focused on what could have happened or what you wish was different and stuff like that, like you can only wish for so much. The could haves and would haves,
Mm-hmm.
they're, you know, hypotheticals. They're not actually reality. So I think that, um, you know, it's definitely had a lot. I definitely had a lot more on my shoulders and stuff. But now that I've sort of released it, it's just, you know, it gives me more space to sort of realize, what happened and what it was, and just leaving it at that. Not trying to go back and try and fix it, or trying to reverse it or whatever. Like just sort of leaving it, just sort of leaving, um, sort of past, situations for what it was, and just
Mm-hmm.
trying to progress forward. And I think, like I said many times, I think that that's what's important. That's how you sort of progress in life, is by continuing to move forward and push yourself to reach those goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you're just focused on the past, and you're really not like how you're supposed to, you know, progress with your life. If you're just focused on
Mm-hmm.
if you're just focused on stuff that had already happened versus what can happen
Mm-hmm.
now. So that's sort of how I think about it.
Yeah, that's good. And talking about what you've done and what happened, did did it feel good or in some sort comforting, like telling me about what happened and how you felt during those situations, or and how you're going to move on? Does it feel, or how does it feel that someone was able to listen to you?
I think that it's definitely calming, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, or comforting too. And I just think that it's important too, because you know a lot a lot of people don't really feel like they have anybody, or anything like that, or struggle to really say anything to the people that even try to, um, provide that sort of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's good though, because that sort of brings, at least like with me personally, like it was definitely I definitely felt like welcomed, I guess. And
Yeah.
you know I could have said anything, and I think that because it's like such a free space, that just leaves like for really anything to be brought up,
Yeah,
or
of
anything to be
course.
said, anything to be talked about, anything to
Mm-hmm.
be, um, discussed over. So I think that, um, you know it's it's good. It helps you realize that you're not sort of alone all the time. You have people that are there and stuff.
Hmm.
And even if you think that you don't, you know, um,
Of
just
course.
don't give up on yourself that easy. Realize that,
Hmm.
you know, there's always somebody. And if there isn't, then, just don't lose yourself, I guess, in the process. Um,
Of course.
just keep pushing forward. Like, don't give up, I guess, is like the main message that I would want
Yeah.
to say to people
Hmm.
is no matter, like, it's basic, but it's
Yeah.
important is to not um, give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Um, give up on things that mess you up, things that aren't good for you, that, you know, whether you
Mhm.
thought it was good at first or wasn't, or, you know, whether it was, a great experience at first, but then, now you're sort of like, damn, it's actually not really that um, helpful or not really that I don't really need this, then, let it go. It's just sort of
Yeah.
like how you will progress and you'll definitely feel better, even though in the moment it might not seem like that. Like, I guess,
Yeah.
trust me, like I know, like I've been um, in those situations before, like in with different scenarios, whether that was, heartbreak or, um, you know, people, um, I guess, doing certain things or just, failures that I've had in the past.
Hmm.
I guess it's just sort of like, you know, um, those things are bound to happen. And it's just sort of just, you know, you're allowed to feel how you feel in the moments and stuff. But as long as you just like, I
Yeah. Of
guess,
course.
keep your heart and your mind on where it's at, then, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel good in the end, I guess, and stuff. And main message, I guess, things will get better. And that's what I'm learning, um, and sort of trying to understand because this is new for me too. Like
Hmm.
I've only recently have been you know at this mind space, so
Yeah.
it if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So
Yeah.
that's sort of how I view it. But
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you. That's how you feel. I'm glad you feel a sense of relief and slight optimism to what is yet to come. And I mean that's what this is entirely about. It's just a way for you to self-reflect on what's been happening and just self-reflect on yourself because not a lot of people like to think about themselves and it's a pretty common thing. There's times where I don't even want to think about myself, but when you take your time to talk to someone and let them ask you questions about yourself, you that's when you get a lot of um just different types of realities hit you, like, and you question what you've done and you kind of just learn and make plans for what you have in the future. And it's a good thing to be able to open up because it could lead to open different possibilities as well. And
exactly.
this kind of leads into the final part of what this is going to be about. um
Yeah.
I'm calling this part uh, a note to the past and future.
Hmm.
So there's only going to be one question and a future, I guess, note leaving you're leaving for yourself. So looking back at, I guess, like little Souza when he was a child, how do you think he would view you right now?
I think you would view me as hmm, I think he would view me as but just like not him. Like I think that um like even though I obviously, am, it's just sort of like he would, I guess, be um just like seeing like a different person, I guess, like not
Mhm,
someone who he'd expect he'd turn out to be.
mhm,
Um, and I'm not sure exactly what else, but I just think that um, he'd definitely be uh, surprised by um, like how I am right now, but at the same time, like not completely unexpected. Like
mhm,
definitely still, you know, have that thought that, oh, well, I mean, it makes sense based on, you know, what it is that um he went through and stuff. But obviously,
mhm.
doesn't know that considering it's young. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's sort of how I see it.
I mean that's good. I would say he he would definitely be happy from what he's seen so far. I mean, if a younger version of yourself saw that you're doing things in life to make yourself better, like going to the gym, for example, I think
Yeah.
they would be happy that the future that they're looking forward to is still, no matter what, going in the right path. And
Exactly.
going from the future, I would like you to leave a note, or technically a letter to yourself for the future, Souza. What do you want to tell your future self?
Uh, I would just keep it short and simple. I would just say, um, you know, um, keep doing what you're doing, like um, still like living life. You're gonna have, you know, you're still gonna have many ups and many downs still to go through and face. Um, but just don't lose yourself in the process of, um, you know, trying to um, get better, like independently as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, just don't let don't let other people's lives sort of determine how you live yours. Live yours based on how you want to live it, not how um, others uh, want you to live it. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. Just take care of yourself and, don't lose yourself in the process of that.
I'm glad you're able to be able to see what you want your future self to be able to hear in the case that you ever may look back on this video or
Yeah.
whatever you want to hear it again. I'm glad you're able to leave something for the future.
Yeah.
And again, I want to thank you for being the first person I interview for this entire um, passion project that I'm trying to do. I really appreciate it. I I cannot thank you enough for helping me bring this into fruition, and then getting ready to continue with this and see how far I could take this and how far I'm willing to go with this no matter what happens.
Yeah. No, no, I mean, pleasure's all mine, really. You know, I think that you're doing this for a good cause and stuff, and privileged to, be the first person and stuff, and you know, glad I could help and stuff like that. So I think that this is, um, I think you're gonna go places with this. So, and, keep doing what you're doing, and you know, again, you're doing it for a good cause and stuff to simply just help people and realize that they're not alone. So I think that that's very important, and you know, keep spreading that. So
Mm.
I'm proud of what you're doing and stuff, and like I mentioned, don't need to thank me, man. I mean, it's what I'm here to do. So yeah,
Thank you. I really much appreciate it.
of course.